ঠিক আছে। তো গতদিন আমরা এইডস সম্পর্কে প্রাইমারি এইচআইভি ইনফেকশন বা রেট্রোভাইরাল ইনফেকশন পর্যন্ত আমরা আলাপ করেছিলাম। আজকে আমরা শুরু করব mucocutaneous disease in HIV infected person. There are so many mucocutaneous disorder which occurs during HIV infection, including advanced AIDS. Some common diseases are seborrheic dermatitis. You know, seborrheic dermatitis is a dermatitis. This is one type of eczema which usually occurs on seborrheic area, that is on the scalp, face, axilla, in front of the chest, back of the chest, inguinal region. It usually occurs when immune system is altered, especially HIV and AIDS. Also, in immunocompromised patient, that is diabetes mellitus. Normal person also occurs seborrheic dermatitis, but in case of HIV positive patient, severity of seborrheic dermatitis is more. Here, normal common cells is pitajospora ovale, which is present in our body. When immune system is altered, these common cells become pathogenic and disease flare up. Now, herpes simplex infection. Herpes simplex infection is a viral infection usually occurs in herpes simplex 1 and herpes simplex 2. Presents on oral cavity, angle of the mouth, and of the genitalia. When patients is HIV positive or AIDS, herpes simplex virus infection becomes chronic. That is, the lesions does not heal less than 4 weeks, and lesion is more severe, ulcer is very deep. Number 3 is herpes zoster. It is also a viral disease. It usually occurs in single dermatome, but in case of AIDS patient, it occurs in multiple dermatome. Normally, it does not crosses the midline, but in case of AIDS patient, it crosses the midline. The complication of herpes zoster is post-herpetic neuralgia, which is more common and severe in AIDS patient. Now, Kaposi's sarcoma, this is one type of spindle cell tumor. It is carcinoma. It usually occurs in AIDS patient. Bacillary angiomatosis, it is a bacterial disease caused by Bartonella hansenii and Bartonella quintana. Here, this disease occurs. Papular pruritic eruption, this is very common, and it usually occurs as its name indicates, papular. So, lesion is papular pruritic. That means very severe. Eruption is papular and pruritic. It usually occurs in non-developed countries where insects are very common, and it occurs when insect bites and reaction is severe, and this type of lesion occurs. Drug reaction. As we know, drug reaction is a common normal person as well as HIV positive person. But in case of HIV positive person, drug reaction is more common, 100 times common than normal person. Here, Stevens-Johnson syndrome, toxic epidermal necrolysis also occurs. Oral condition. Oropharyngeal candidiasis, that is mucosal involvement, angular cheilitis, oral hairy leukophilakia, herpetoma oral ulcer. These are common in HIV infected person. In case of oropharyngeal candidiasis, types become more severe. It may be erythematous. In angular ciliatis, angle of the mouth occurs and treatment is resistant. Oral hairy leukoplakia, it is caused by herpes, human herpes virus 8, and it occurs at the side of the tongue. There are corrugated plaque. Herpetiform oral lesion. In the oral cavity, herpetiform lesion occurs. Nail disorder. Fungal onychomycosis is very common. Where toenails affected more than fingernails, more than one nails are involved. Where nail is discolored, onycholysis, that's it. Separation of nail plate from nail bed, and there is subungual hyperkeratosis. Where treatment is resistant, treatment should be continued more than 1 month. So, in a short, this is the mucocutaneous manifestation of HIV infected person. Now, I shall discuss about laboratory diagnosis of HIV. There are so many laboratory investigations done to confirm the HIV infected person. Here are some of the names of tests and their interpretation. As you know, AIDS is a viral disease. So, tests should be done against viral antigen, that is antibody, or detection of viral antigen. As you know, there needs some time to develop antibody against the virus particle. So, antibody will be detected at least 12 weeks after the infection. This time is called window period. So, before window period, we cannot detect the antibody of HIV virus. So, there is a fallacy of antibody detection test. If we suspect patient is HIV positive and antibody test is negative, we should do repeated test after 6 weeks. Here, name of some test: ELISA, enzyme linked immunosorbent assay. Here, antibodies, that is IgM and IgG. Test should be done. Antibody test, window period 3 to 6 weeks. So this test would be positive after 3 to 6 weeks. It is a screening test. Antigen capture. Here, antigen is detected. We have already discussed the structure of HIV. We show P24 antigen is a component of HIV. Here, HIV P24 antigen is detected. It will take time, at least 2 weeks to 3 weeks. It is a screening test. Number 3, Western blot. It is very much important. Here, antibody is detected, IgG. As we know, there are two antibodies, IgM and IgG. IgM detect earlier than IgG. So, Western blot, later antibody will be detected. Here, IgG, we shall detect IgG. Window period is 3 times. It is a confirmatory test, but there is some fallacy here. Sometimes the result will be indeterminate. It is very expensive test. Immunofluorescence test, antibody test, IgG, needs 3 weeks It is a confirmatory test. PCR, you have already known the name of PCR. Nowadays, PCR is very common to detect COVID-19 virus. Here we can show it detects only HIV RNA particle of virus. It needs 2 weeks. It is a confirmatory test. Viral culture. Virus usually from peripheral blood. Mononuclear cell, not serum or plasma. It is important. We cannot detect virus not from serum or plasma. It is detected with mononuclear cell, that is CL positive. It is a confirmatory test. It is on research. So, in a nutshell, we discussed laboratory diagnosis of HIV. This point is very much important. Rapid test. Rapid test is very important in screening test as well as particle agglutination tests are also available. Rapid test it is done outside laboratory. It is bedside test. There are steps. If we put into this tip in the syrup, it indicates positive or negative. It is a screening test. PCR test also done. PCR test it is also done. Here viral RNA is detected, but in case of infant, it has also a specific importance. In infants of HIV infected mother who carry maternal antibody to HIV up to 15 months, irrespective of whether they are infected. So, PCR test should be done in infant whose mother is HIV infected. It should be done within 15 months. A positive antibody test from not 2 TO2, not 2, that is 2 doing. Two different immunoassay is sufficient to confirm the diagnosis. So, if one antibody test is positive, we should not declare the patient is HIV positive. We should do it two different immunoassay method, and if two are positive, we should declare the patient is positive. So, rapid care of test is very important. It is known as combo test. It is usually done in blood bank. If you have an opportunity to go to blood bank, you go there and see how HIV test is done. Besides above tests, there should be done some tests. This is called baseline investigation or supporting test. Number one is complete blood count. Complete blood count is important here. It gives some information. In case of complete blood count, lymphocyte count will be decreased. Hemoglobin percentage will be decreased. ESR will be high. Another infection if present, neutrophil count will be high. Total count of WBC will be high. So there are so many informations about complete blood count. Number two, CD4 cell count. As you know, if patient is infected with HIV, CD4 count is gradually decreased. Normal CD4 count is more than 500, which usually ranges is 500 to 1500. Some others says 500 to 1000. So, in case of HIV positive patient, when he or she develop AIDS, this cell count will be decreased. It may be decreased from 350 per cubic millimeter of blood to up to 50, only 50 cells per cubic millimeter of blood. When CD4 count is less than 200 per cubic millimeter of blood, it is called AIDS, and when it counts is less than 50, it is called advanced stage. So, CD4 count is very much important. AIDS, hepatitis B surface antigen, it is important. It is a sexually transmitted disease. So AIDS, if patient has AIDS, he also has a chance of HIV positive. Similarly, anti-HCV. Liver function test. As you know, liver function is impaired. We decide to initiate antiretroviral therapy, which we should initiate. There are some side effects of hepatotoxicity of antiretroviral. Urine for RNA. Routine, it is a routine test. By this test, we can evaluate, we can know about kidney function, that is albuminuria, albumin pass or not, RBC, or red blood cell count, or sugar, even sugar, diabetes, diabetes. Serum creatinine is important because a patient of HIV/AIDS affect kidney also. Syphilis serology, we do two tests, VDRL and TPE. VDRL may be reactive, TPE may be positive. It is a sexual transmission, so it has a great chance to develop syphilis with AIDS. Cervical smear in women, that is smear. To screen the cervical carcinoma. TMT test, 1 to 2 test. In HIV or AIDS patient is immunocompromised, so you are seeing has every chance to develop tuberculosis. Here, reading or interpretation of Montus test is very important. In case of HIV or AIDS patients, if Montus test reading is 5 millimeter in duration, it will consider as positive. But in normal patient, 5 millimeter in duration is not positive result. STI screening, we have already discussed what is STI and why. What is the importance of screening of STI? There is a greater chance to develop STI when patient is AIDS, so STI screening is important. Serum cryptococcal antigen. If CD4 count is less than 100 per cubic millimeter of blood, it should be done. So these baseline investigations or supporting investigation we have to done. So from previous lecture, we have already learned what is AIDS, what is the pathogenesis of AIDS, what is the clinical features of AIDS, what is the stages of AIDS. How can we confirm the diagnosis of AIDS? Now treatment. Now, how will you treat the AIDS patient? HAART is the acronym of highly active enteroretroviral therapy. Highly active enteroretroviral therapy. The specific treatment is HAART. The goals of ART antiretroviral therapy or HAART therapy are two. কেন আমরা why should we give antiretroviral therapy? The purpose is to reduce the viral load to an undetected level for as long as possible. So our aim to reduce the viral load as minimum as possible, that is undetected level. Number two, improve the CD4 count to over 200 cells per cubic millimeter of blood, so that severe HIV related disease is unlikely. As you know, when CD4 cell count is less than 200 per cubic millimeter of blood, it is called AIDS. So our goal is to increase the CD4 cell count more than 200 cells per cubic millimeter of blood. Number three, improve the quality and quantity of life without unacceptable drug toxicity. So, we should improve the patient's quality and quantity of life and minimum side effects and toxicity of the drug. Reduce HIV transmission. As you know, HIV is transmitted by radiation from person to person. So, if we start hard, we should reduce the transmission of HIV. So, this is the goal why we heart therapy start. Now, indication of heart. When should we start heart? There is some guideline. Hello, আমি একটা ক্লাসে পরে কথা বলবো। ক্লাসে indication of heart, sorry. When we start heart therapy, CD4 cell count is less than 350 per cubic millimeter of blood. When CD4 count falls below 350 per cubic millimeter of blood, we should start heart. Clinical stage, WHO staging 3 or 4. HIV infected partner in serodiscordant couple should commence ART, irrespective of their CD4 cell counts or clinical staging. So, if partner is HIV positive and if patient is HIV positive but his partner is HIV negative, we should start heart therapy, because if we do not start heart therapy, the patient will infect his or her partner. So, WHO recommended HIV infected partners in serodiscordant couples. Other categories of patients who should start care earlier. Which patient? Those patients with CLD from viral hepatitis, non-AIDS malignancy, and condition requiring long-term immunosuppressive therapy. So, in this condition, we should start heart therapy earlier. For this condition, chronic liver disease from viral hepatitis, non-AIDS malignancy, and patients requiring long-term immunosuppressive therapy. So, this is the indication of heart therapy. Heart means highly active antiretroviral therapy. Now, selecting of heart disease. As you know, there are some drugs commonly used in antiretroviral therapy. These are nucleosidase reverse transcriptase inhibitor. We already discussed there are three enzymes: reverse transcriptase, integrase, and protease. So drug acts at that level. Nucleosidase reverse transcriptase enzyme. So nucleosidase reverse transcriptase inhibitor drugs are abacavir, emtricitabine, lamivudine, tenofovir, and rudofovir. Here is a point important: emtricitabine and lamivudine. The structure is equal to similar, these two drugs. So we should use from those two drugs only one drug. Emtricitabine and lamivudine two drugs is not used simultaneously. Number two, non-nucleosidase reverse transcriptase inhibitors. Drugs are epavirenz, nevirapine, and itrapine. So non-nucleosidase reverse transcriptase inhibitors are epavirenz, nevirapine, and itrapine. Protease inhibitor, atazanavir, darunavir, and lopinavir. These are common protease inhibitors. Integrase inhibitor, Ranelagir, chemokine receptor inhibitor, Maraviron, fusion inhibitor, enfuvirtide. This term is difficult to hear, but these drugs are also available in Bangladesh. Mexico Pharmaceuticals, Scar Pharmaceuticals launches these drugs. So, commonly used antiretroviral drugs. These are nucleosidase reverse transcriptase inhibitor, non-nucleosidase reverse transcriptase inhibitor, protease inhibitor, integrase inhibitors, chemokine receptor inhibitors, and fusion inhibitors. So, selecting of heart treatment options are below. 2 nucleosidase reverse transcriptase inhibitor and 1 non-nucleosidase reverse transcriptase. This is more common used in Bangladesh. 2 nucleosidase reverse transcriptase inhibitor, 1 protease. Number 3, 2 nucleosidase reverse transcriptase inhibitor and integrase inhibitor. In these three situations, 2 nucleosidase reverse transcriptase inhibitors are common. Another enzyme inhibitor, one is non-nucleosidase reverse transcriptase inhibitor, another is protease inhibitor, another is integrase inhibitor. WHO recommended first line. We usually use the first line drug. 2 nucleosidase reverse transcriptase inhibitor, 1 non-nucleosidase reverse transcriptase inhibitor. Second line, ritonavir boosted protease inhibitor and 2 nucleosidase reverse transcriptase inhibitor. So, we should start heart therapy. First, diagnosis the case. Then, if patient fulfills the criteria to starting heart, we should start heart therapy by following drugs. Now, after giving the antiretroviral drug, you have to monitor some parameters. These are monitoring efficacy, viral load, repeat 4 to 8 weeks after initiation of antiretroviral therapy and check every 3 to 6 months. So, when we give antiretroviral therapy, we should repeat viral load 4 to 8 weeks after initiation, then every 3 to 6 months. CD4 plus cell count generally monitor every 3 to 6 months with viral load. So, when we detect viral load, we should do CD4 plus cell count. Other investigation required for monitoring when we start antiretroviral therapy or heart. Complete blood count, liver function test, renal function test, serum amylase, serum electrolytes, chest X-ray PAView. This test with above 2 tests, that is viral load and CD4 cell count, should be done every 6 months of the patient. So, when we start antiretroviral drug, we should do the following test every 6 months. These are viral load, CD4 count, CBC, LFT, RFT, serum enzyme, serum amylase, serum electrolytes, chest X-ray PAView. These are. Now, what are the complications of heart? When you start heart, there would be some complications. Number 1 is immune reconstitution inflammatory syndrome. It is abbreviated as IRIS. So, one of the major complication is Irish. Number 2 is lipodystrophy. So number 1 complication is Irish. Number 2 complication is lipodystrophy. Number 3 is rashes. Number 4 other adverse effects: insomnia, agitation, euphoria, dysphoria, anemia. Anemia and neutropenia, it is common when we start zidovudin, dyslipidemia, and risks of myocardial infarction when we use protease inhibitor. Now I shall discuss about Irish. What is Irish? Irish typically presents within first 3 months of starting heart therapy. So Irish usually occurs within first 3 months of age. It is characterized by either symptoms of new infections, or inflammatory conditions, or clinical worsening of existing infection, or inflammatory condition. So, when IBS develop symptoms of new infection, inflammatory condition, develop new or clinically worsening of existing infection or inflammatory condition. Why Irish occur? I results from exaggerated immune response. Iris develop from exaggerated immune response to prevent existing microbial host or other antigen at time. When CD4 cell counts are rapidly increasing. So when CD4 count is rapidly increasing, so iris develops. Iris has been reported in 15 to 25% individual initiating antiretroviral therapy. So there is a significant amount of patients developed iris. It is about 50 to 25% of patients. So the figure is not so less. So iris should be considered. Risk factor associated with development of iris. Male gender is common. Shorter interval between initiating treatment of an opportunistic infection and starting here. So if you start in short interval between initiating treatment of opportunistic infection and ART, there is a chance of developing iris. A rapid fall in HIV viral load after initiation of ART. Starting ART, if viral load falls rapidly, then starts iris. A lower baseline CD4 count. When CD4 count is very low and less than 200, 100 or 50, if you start heart therapy, there is a chance to develop iris. Iris has been associated with broad range of infections, inflammatory and neoplasm conditions. So, when developed iris, there are some diseases associated here. Mycobacterial infection, cytomegalovirus infection, viral hepatitis, varicella zoster virus, herpes simplex virus, human papilloma virus infection, cryptococcosis, histoplasmosis, and atypical leishmaniasis. This is infectious condition. Now inflammatory, sarcoidosis, rheumatoid arthritis, systemic lupus erythematosus, humid lupus, rheumatoid eczema, Aneurysm-free follicular. Neoplastic condition is common when starting heart. Kaposi sarcoma and dermatofibroma. So this is critical features, signs, symptoms, etiology, and some skin condition as well with iris. Now, when developed iris, what should we do? We should manage the iris. First of all, it is important continuation of antiretroviral medication, initiation of opportunity, and initiation of appropriate therapy for underlying infection or inflammatory condition. This is important. Antiretroviral medication should not be stopped and prophylaxis antimicrobial agent should not be stopped. So antiretroviral medication should be continued and initiation of appropriate therapy for underlying infection or inflammatory condition. In addition, systemic steroid would be beneficial in some cases. In some cases, we should start systemic steroid in a short period. But when patient in life-threatening condition, when patient is about to die, in this case, in these severe cases, iris discontinuation. In severe cases of iris, discontinuation of ART should be considered. When patient is very severely and patient is in life-threatening condition, in these cases, we should stop heart therapy. Other complication we have already mentioned, lipodystrophy. Long-term use of antiretroviral therapy may change body fat distribution. This can present either with fat accumulation or with subcutaneous fat loss. So lipodystrophy occurs when we start antiretroviral therapy. Rashes. The rashes are very common with non-nucleosidase reverse transcriptase inhibitor. The nucleosidase reverse transcriptase inhibitor, abacavir, typically causes systemic hypersensitivity reaction. Other adverse effects we have already discussed. Next slide. What is it? Final lecture sensitivity. Now I shall discuss about HIV-related cancer. There are so many cancers which are prone to develop in HIV-positive patients or AIDS patients. Number 3 condition is more common. Number 1 is Kaposi sarcoma. Number 2 cervical carcinoma, and number 3 non-Hodgkin lymphoma. When patient develop AIDS, these 3 carcinoma commonly occur. That's why it is called AIDS defining cancer. So what are the AIDS defining cancer? Kaposi sarcoma, cervical carcinoma, and non-Hodgkin lymphoma. These are AIDS defining cancer. Other cancers are Hodgkin lymphoma, vulvar cancer, anal cancer, penile cancer, and hepatocellular carcinoma. These are also common. So These are age-related cancer. You must remember the cancer, Kaposi sarcoma, cervical carcinoma, and non-Hodgkin. Now, chemoprophylaxis. What is chemoprophylaxis? Chemoprophylaxis is a drug which start to prevent infections. So, drug which we use to prevent infection is called chemoprophylaxis. Chemoprophylaxis is the use of antimicrobial agents to prevent infection. So, use of antimicrobial agents to prevent infection is called chemoprophylaxis. Chemoprophylaxis may be primary or may be secondary. Primary prophylaxis is used to prevent opportunistic infections that have not yet occurred. Opportunistic infections that have not yet occurred. To prevent this is called primary prophylaxis. What is secondary prophylaxis? Secondary prophylaxis is used to prevent recurrence of opportunistic infections. So, secondary prophylaxis is used to prevent recurrence of opportunistic infections. There are some drugs which is used to prevent infection. Most common is 4-triamoxazole in primary prophylaxis. Indication of 4-triamoxazole in primary prophylaxis: clinical evidence of immune suppression. That is, clinical stress 3 or 4 when you start after. A laboratory evidence of immune suppression, that is CD4 count less than 200 per cubic millimeter of blood. In this condition, we call it AIDS. Malaria and severe bacterial infection in low-income countries, in low socioeconomic conditions, we should start 4-triamoxazole for primary chemoprophylaxis in case of malaria-prone area and severe bacteria. 4-triamoxazole prophylaxis can be discontinued when CD4 counts raises to more than 200 per cubic millimeter of blood on air. It should be discontinued in developed countries. But in low-income countries like Bangladesh, though Bangladesh is middle-income country, but it is also practiced here in this region. Continue the 4-triamoxazole where it should be continued for lifetime. So in low-income countries like Africa, 4-triamoxazole prophylaxis should be continued lifelong to prevent infection. Opportunistic infection reduced by 4-triamoxazole. Which opportunistic infection is reduced? These are pneumocystis cerevisiae pneumonia, cerebral toxoplasmosis, bacterial pneumonia, bacteremia, cysticercosis, and malaria. So, if we use 4-triamoxazole, these opportunistic infection may be reduced. These are now tuberculosis preventive therapy. As we know, when HIV is positive and patient develop AIDS, there is every chance to develop tuberculosis. So there is a strategy to prevent it therapy. Preventive therapies are either with isoniazid or combination of rifampicin with isoniazid. Reduce the risks of tuberculosis only if HIV infected person with positive tuberculosis. So we should start Isoniazid singly or in combination, isoniazid plus the company. When HIV patient with positive tuberculosis, if duration is more than 5 millimeter in 72 hours. In HIV infection, duration of 5 millimeter or more of a Montauk test is regarded as positive. So, it is important part of the interpretation of Montauk test in HIV infection, duration of 5 or more is significant. It is important to rule out active tuberculosis before starting preventive therapy and symptom screening required. So it is very much important to exclude active tuberculosis. If active tuberculosis is present, we should not give preventive therapy because it will develop resistance of tuberculosis. So first of all, we should be sure to free of active tuberculosis. Symptoms screen of tuberculosis before isoniazid preventive therapy are active cough, present or not, weight loss, night sweats, fever. If these are present or not. So if all these features are absent, we should start preventive tuberculosis therapy. Tuberculosis preventive therapy. Mycobacterium avium complex prophylaxis. When we do practice in high income countries, it should be practiced macrolide, that is azithromycin, or clarithromycin is recommended where CD4 cell count below 50 cells per cubic millimeter of blood. Usually discontinued once the CD4 cell count has risen to about 100 cells per cubic millimeter of blood on air. In low and middle income countries, Mycobacterium avium complex is uncommon. So we should not give prophylaxis treatment of Mycobacterium avium complex like Bangladesh. So it is practiced only in high income countries where it is more common. Drug of choice is azithromycin or clarithromycin. Preventive cryptococcosis. Some cryptococcal antigen test should be done in patients with CD4 count below 100 cells per cubic millimeter of blood. If this is positive, preemptive therapy with fluconazole should be common. Here, dose of fluconazole should be high, more than 50 milligram per day. It usually 100 milligram per day. So preventive cryptococcosis when CD4 count is below 100, we should start fluconazole. A special situation of AIDS when we start antiretroviral therapy. In pregnancy, what happens? All pregnant women should have HIV test at early stage in pregnancy. So, in screening test of pregnancy, HIV testing is added. So, all pregnant women should have HIV testing at an early stage in pregnancy. The CD4 cell counts falls by about 25% during pregnancy due to hemodilatation. So, a normal person who has pregnant, CD4 cell count may be fall up to 25% due to hemodilation. The course of HIV disease progression is not altered by pregnancy. In pregnant women, the disease of HIV is not altered. It will not be, calcium will not be increased. So, course of HIV disease progression is not altered by pregnancy. Antiretroviral therapy has dramatically reduced the risk of mother to child transmission. So, antiretroviral therapy dramatically reduce the risk of mother to child transmission of HIV less than 1%. So, it is important to start antiretroviral therapy during pregnancy to save the children. Initiation of antiretroviral therapy at the beginning of second trimester. We should start antiretroviral therapy. In advanced disease, antiretroviral therapy should be started in first trimester. In advanced disease, very advanced stage, where CD4 cell count less than 50, we should start antiretroviral therapy in first trimester. Commence standard antiretroviral therapy and discontinue delivery. Commence antiretroviral standard antiviral therapy and discontinue delivery or after week. So, if we start antiretroviral therapy, we should continue up to delivery in low socioeconomic condition, or it should be continued up to weaning in developed countries. My opinion, the antiretroviral therapy should be continued up to weaning. Tirovotin monotherapy usually started at 28 weeks, augmented with single dose of nevirapine delivery. It is practiced in low socioeconomic countries. So there is a chance of transmission of HIV from mother to fetus. There is a chance. There is a little chance. Tirovotin monotherapy usually start at 28 weeks and single dose of nevirapine during delivery. আনমিউট করা যাবে? আনমিউট করে একটু স্টুডেন্টের সঙ্গে কথা বলতাম। ভাই 5 মিনিট ডিসকাশন। আনমিউট করে দিতে পারবেন।